foremost, rest in peace, Stephon Clark. It's sad that such a tragedy is the reason for us meeting here today. It's good to see some new faces I haven't seen before. My name is Jordan. I'm the president of the Black Student Union. From the gate, I want to say that this protest is not anti-police. It's anti-police brutality. It's anti-deadly force without de-escalation. It's anti-racial profiling. It's a reach out for accountability and unity within our community. We are here because on March 2nd, Sacramento District Attorney Ann Schubert decided not to press charges against the 2 police officers that murdered Stephon Clark. The district attorney's excuse was that the cops had every right to fear for their lives in that moment, and police officers are allowed to shoot on civilians if they feel that their life or someone else's is in imminent danger. Stephon Clark was not armed. He held his hands up with a cell phone in his hand. Stephon was suspected of going around and breaking windows in South Sacramento. Others say Stephon Clark was a victim of racial profiling. Police made contact with him and he ran. A lot of people try to justify his murder by the fact that he ran. Let's be honest, who else runs when they get scared? Who else reacts irrationally when they get scared? I know I do sometimes. Black youth in particular are constantly fearing for their lives, especially in the presence of police officers. This is often stemmed from the trauma that wasn't dealt with because there aren't enough resources in the hood, per se, that are accessible for mental health and rehabilitation. Stephon ran through backyards and hopping fences, only to end in his grandmother's backyard. Police caught up to him and yelled, "Gun, gun, gun," and they shot 20 shots at Stephon Clark. They shot 20 shots. They continued firing on him even after he fell to the ground. 7 bullets hit him in his body and 1 hit him in his neck. They held their positions for 20 minutes. Even after they called out to him and had no response, they let him lay there and die. Shooting 20 shots at someone does not seem like you're protecting yourself. It sounds excessive. And to be honest, I'm tired of seeing black men and women in my community hunted down and used as target practice. I have to play the devil's advocate and say that not all cops are bad. But there is a false sense of security that is being displayed by police officers who do not deserve the badge. Their duty is to serve and protect this community, but it's counterproductive for some cops to terrorize it in the same moment. Again, not all cops are bad. The ones we are protesting today have not been held to the same standards as we are in terms of murder. There is a double standard within law enforcement. If I went and killed someone, I would be looking at 25 years to life immediately. But when they kill one of us, they get paid administrative leave and vacation. We want officers to be held to the same standards as we are, if not higher. It takes 15 years or longer to become a doctor. A doctor could have the power to control whether someone lives or dies. It only takes 6 months to become a police officer. A police officer also has the power to control whether someone lives or someone dies. I'm not downplaying the responsibilities and road to becoming a police officer. I actually encourage more people of color to join law enforcement agencies so they can voice for us folks who don't have a platform to speak for ourselves. What I'm saying is there's definitely room for improvement within the department as far as things like de-escalation training, which is vital for handling different demographics. I was born and raised in South Sac and Oak Park, so I know the dynamics of police relations. Oak Park is predominantly black, but is home to different people of different ethnic groups as well. There is an evident line of division between the police officers and the community they are supposed to serve. If you watch the live brief from DA Schubert, then you will see how hard she tried to discredit the character of Stephon. That is common when it comes to unarmed black people who are murdered by police, an effort to downgrade the severity of their death and decrease the amount of accountability dispersed. Stephon was the first of 4 black men that was murdered by Sacramento Police Department just in 2018, and we are still waiting for justice for them. Just briefly, I want to bring light to their names: Stephon Clark, Brandon Smith, Daryl Richards, and Marshall Miles. Just as a general theme, bringing up someone's past or criminal record is minimizing the problem at hand. The minimization of Zoe's death is a direct symptom of the system's ability to destroy and control black lives. We want to hold police officers accountable, but police officers are just doing their jobs, enforcing the system. Police officers enforce the justice system, which has been proven statistically to be disproportionately affecting black lives and all the other lives of color negatively. But when I say system, I'm referring to the economic system, political system, the healthcare system, the education system, and the prison industrial system, as well as other social constructs. There is undeniably a divide within these systems that we need to close. When there's a divide within a group of people, someone is bound to capitalize on that and push for their own agenda. They are allowed to do that because we are surrounded by ignorance. The direct solution to ignorance is education, so it's my job as a student leader to educate my peers about things like social justice issues and other things you won't hear about within a classroom. That's another key point behind this walkout. I want to allow students to voice their opinions, so at the end, if you have something constructive to say, you'll be more than welcome to come down. I'd like everyone to take a moment of silence for Stephon Clark. This is the start of a movement, not a moment. Get with it or get lost, period. Stress this enough. Change isn't going to happen. All youth aren't proactive in these issues. It's more than just protesting and standing on the street yelling at aggravated people. Protesting is meant to draw attention to specific issues, not to solve them. This walkout is to gain attention and spark conversation throughout the school's population about things like this. It's more than getting on Instagram or Snapchat or Twitter and reposting a hashtag. When Black lives are under attack, Black Twitter is no longer going to be the only ones who are going to say their names. In order to evoke change, you have to be getting on a stage and using your voice to stress how the impact of decisions like the district attorney affect more than just Sacramento. If you didn't know, Stephon went to Mitchell for some time in middle school. He is one of us. If you can't relate to his skin color, then you can understand that he could have been one of your friends. He was someone's son, grandson, father, and brother. He was someone. Evoking change is educating your peers and even strangers. It's putting your money to right places, including Black-owned businesses which don't get enough coverage in the city as well as Sacramento. It's supporting your friends and family through their own journey, and it's being involved in your community. If you're looking for a sense of community and you want to gain leadership skills, come join us for the next Black Student Union meeting on Tuesday at 3 at E5. I took charge of this walkout for a few reasons. My outlook on change is act as if no one else will. If they do, you have the experience to succeed in the future. If they don't, you'll be ready for when the time comes. I also want to explain a little about the walkout in particular. We are going to be out of class for 20 minutes. Right now it's running a little late, but we are going to be out of class for 20 minutes to represent the 20 minutes Stephon Clark was denied help after they had shot him. We are wearing all black and do-rags and beanies, etc., to not only look uniform, but to bring light to the fact that Black students and Black people in general are often targeted because of what they wear. The dress code itself is disproportionately targets students of color because things like do-rags and ripped jeans are of high cultural significance to the Black community. The reason I chose to do this in the middle of school days is to cause disruption in a way where we draw attention and everyone has a chance to participate, then go back to class. You know, there's a lot of people that have been trying to throw dirt on this walkout. People trying to rip down flyers. I want to say that the attempts failed, obviously, and we would have commenced regardless. I heard the news that the district attorney wasn't going to press charges, and I, like many other people, was immediately overwhelmed with anger and helplessness. The next day, I turned this anger into drive to push for change and awareness. I want to again encourage you guys to turn your anger and pain into passion for whatever you're into. If you're into sports, put the energy to sports. If you're an activist, put your energy into the activism. If you need an extra push in school, put this energy to do better in school. I also want to thank the teachers and admin for allowing the students to walk out of class. I'm aware that it did cause a disruption, but I promise it's for something bigger than you and I alone. I want to give a special shout out to the track coaches for saying school's not the place for protest. Give students an ultimatum of either participating in this walkout or competing in this weekend meet. No tea, no shade, it's all love over here. Shout out to all my track folks for showing up regardless, and shout out to everyone else that's here today. We're going to do some affirmations, so I need you guys to repeat after me. It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to win.
It is our duty to win.
We must love and support one another.
We must love and support one another.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to win.
It is our duty to win.
We must love and support one another.
We must love and support one another.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
Say his name.
Stephon Clark.
Say his name.
Stephon Clark.
Say his name.
Stephon Clark.